subscribe, please click the like button, share and subscribe. It's free.
Mawufile-ke kusho-ke sebenzisa yona-ke lo hlelo olubizwa ngokuthi-ke i-pattern matching.
And that pattern matching, you apply it because it's under the auspices of the AFTI, that is the Association, International Association for Firemarks and Examiners and Tool Mark Examiners internationally, right?
That is correct, my lord.
Sebenzisa yona-ke ngoba yona-ke engaphansi-ke kwale hlelo noma lolu hlelo olubizwa ngokuthi-ke i-AFTI.
Now, I want to break down this pattern matching. I've tried to do it with your colleagues, but it's somewhere I get jaded along the route as they explain. You employ pattern matching, one, to evaluate first the class characteristics of both the known and unknown samples. Will I be correct? Because now here I'm asking you, I'm not giving you my opinion, I'm not a ballistic person. Should I repeat it again?
You can repeat it again.
You employ pattern matching. Firstly, you do it for two reasons, and the first one that I'm giving you is this one. You use it to evaluate the class characteristics of the known and the unknown samples, right?
That is correct.
Lana-ke ukubheka-ke ama-characteristics lana-ke alama-sample aziwayo nala futhi angaziwa.
And then if the class characteristics do not match, for example, if the samples have different numbers, say for example a fire, as you gave the example of Captain Krobler, if the length and grooves and the rifling is different, say for example the length and grooves on your specimen are 6 and the rifling is the right twist, and on your test it's 5 and the twist is left, immediately say no, this is not the class that we are looking for because they are different, right?
That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke uma usubheka utholeke ukuthi kunomehluko khona-ke namagolozi ngokwe number-ke yalapho ila usho khona ukuthi cha lokhu-ke akusiyona-ke into eyodwa noma kuhlukile.
Now, if, however, the class characteristics match, now that's where you kick in as an examiner. Right? You now take the samples, the exhibit bullet or cartridge case, and the test fires. You take them now to examine and compare them under the so-called comparison microscope. Correct?
That is correct, my lord.
So kuma usuthola-ke ukuthi-ke kuyahlangana ila usuyithatha khona-ke manje usuzoyozibheka kuyona-ke i-microscope la esiqhathanisa khona.
And at that stage, you use the pattern matching to determine, one, if any marks are subclass or individual characteristics, right?
That is correct, my lord.
Ila manje usubheka khona-ke ukuthi lama marks-ke ilama marks-ke ahlangeneke noma ayihambela kawodwa.
And secondly, you also look at the level of correspondence between the marks on the specimens, on the exhibit bullet, as in our case, and the test fires, correct?
That is correct, my
Ila
lord.
usubheka khona-ke manje-ke ukuthi-ke futhi-ke ne-level noma izinga-ke la kuhlangana khona phakathi kwayo-ke inhlamvu le-exhibit kanye futhi nama-test.
And having done that, then you will, having compared, you then come to the last stage, which is now to make a conclusion, and those conclusions I've already set them out with you. They are in accordance with the AFTI range of conclusions, correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Suqedile-ke lapho ila-ke manje uya-ke manje emaphethelweni-ke ukuthi-ke utholeni.
And according to what you use as your guide, as your radar, the AFTI theory of identification, it says you can only make a positive identification when there is a sufficient agreement, right, between the two samples, the exhibit bullet and the test fires, to come to a determination that this firearm fired this bullet, the source of it, correct?
You are correct, my lord.
ila usithola khona-ke manje ukuthi-ke kunokuvumelana okwanele-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke le nhlamvu-ke okuyiyona iyatholakala kwindawo yesigameko kanye nalezi ezisetshenziswa nanjengama-test ukuthi-ke kubuya kwisibhamu esisodwa.
Now, I'm not going to ask you about what sufficient agreement is. You've covered it with my learned colleague, Advocate Sibanda. And I'm not going to ask you about the best agreement. My point is to come to, and you've already said you did not make notes, right? When you did the comparison between the exhibit bullet in this case and the test fires that were provided by Colonel Mangena, right?
That is correct, my lord.
Now of TB3 to TB10, which ones? Let me give you imaginary, within those. Imaginary TB1, TB3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one had the best profile of marks that you compared and came to an identification that is a positive match?
My lord, as I've explained that I did not record anything. I cannot recall which one it was, my lord. Because I've stated that I did not record anything and I even got a name. So I did not record anything and I cannot recall which one.
Bengishilo ngaphambilini ukuthi-ke umbuzo-ke othi yiphi-ke kulama-test-ke okwaba yona-ke othola-ke ama-marks wona-ke ongathi wasebenzisa ukuphathanisa ngishilo ngathi-ke angibhalanga lutho phansi.
Now, without notes, recordals, worksheet, without charts, we don't know the marks that you saw because we have procured an expert, and whatever yourself, Colonel Mangena, Professor Captain Robla said you saw, we were keen to hand them up to our expert and said, for example, Captain Mangena said he compared the exhibit bullet with TB5 and TB9 to make his identification. Colonel Serrao compared the exhibit bullet with TB4, TB8 to come to an inclusion. And further, Serrao expanded his testimony to say between TB4 and TB8, the best profile marks that he saw were on TB8 compared to TB4, and TB8 is an FMJ. So that sort of information directs us to instruct our expert properly, to assist us to come to some sort of evaluation of the ballistic evidence. But without those notes, all we have is what you say now. I understand there's nothing else, correct?
My lord, as explained previously that Colonel Serrao, after his verification, wrote down. So he will use that pro forma to refresh his memory. Colonel Mangena also wrote his pro forma as well. So they will use that to refresh their memory. With an opinion, we did not write. We don't write when we are giving an opinion.
Bese ngishilo-ke ukuthi-ke uKolonel Serrao uzobhala phansi-ke kunala abhala phansi khona-ke ila akwazi ukuthatha kona-ke lokho abheke ukuthi wabhalani. uKolonel Mangena naye kuzokwenza lokho ubhala phansi-ke ila athatha khona abheke. Kodwa kuthina-ke abanikeza ngovo akukho esikubhala phansi.
In fact, you said an opinion is an informal process. So your testimony here is also an informal process.
I cannot comment on that, my lord.
Now, having given that opinion, you took it to Colonel Mangena. Did you know at the time the nature of the case for which you were providing the opinion?
When I was providing that opinion, I did not know, my lord.
Ngesikhathi enganginikeza ngovo ngaso ngangingazi ukuthi yiliphi icala noma icala ekanjani ke lelo enginikeza uvo kulona.
When did you learn that this was the so-called Sezonengamela case?
He told me after I've done the microscopic opinion, my lord.
Wasengitshela kamuva ke sengikwenzileke uqhathanisa lokho kuyona i-microscope ukuthi lona ke icala likasenzo.
That will be on the 22nd of July 2020.
I think, yes, my lord, it was on that day.
Yebo
Same day.
kwangalo langa lelo ke langa 22 July 2020.
So for you, the wheel had come full circle. You'd attended the scene. Now you are giving an opinion on the bullet from that particular scene. You see that? The wheel has come full circle. For you.
I don't understand the meaning of this, my lord.
It's English, it's fine. Now, you mentioned, I believe in your evidence in chief, that Colonel Mangena, besides being one of your superiors, and superiors I mean at work, he was also your mentor, correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Ngishilo ke ukuthi ke uKenneth Mangena ke wakuyena ke owaye ngibonisa ke lokho okuthiwa phecelezi ke i-mentor emsebenzini.
Now, in this instance, the mentor says to the mentee, have a look here. Give me your 2 cents worth on these findings. And lo and behold, the mentee comes with the same conclusions and findings that the mentor had arrived at.
My lord, I can be a mentee, but I'm qualified.
Lana ke lona ekuyena ke obonisayo ke noma ke ofundisayo uza ke kulona ke amfundisayo ukuthi ke awubhekele lana ke usho ke wena ukuthola phupho ukuthini kodwa ke mase ubuza ke wena ke ofundiswayo kulo okufundisayo uthi imiphumela ke iyafana. Yebo ngingawuyena ke lo oqeqeshwayo noma ke oboniswayo ofundiswayo kodwa ke nami ngiseqophelweni lokuthi ke umsebenzi ngingawenza.
And lastly, on this aspect, it says you arrive the theory of identification, and examiner arrives at a conclusion based on scientific principles, their experience and judgment, correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
And there's a provision to that which says that arrival using those, the scientific principles, the experience and the knowledge is subjective, right?
That is correct, my lord.
Futhi ke lo msebenzi ke noma ke lokho ofinyelela kona ke kuyinto ke esingabheka noma engabukwa.
Now, the interpretation of those marks and striations between the exhibit bullet and test fires 3 to 10. According to that last principle of identification, it says it's subjective. Another examiner may look at the same samples and arrive at the different conclusions based on the AFT third principle, correct?
That is correct. It will depend on his level of expertise and experience, skills and training, my lord.
Lokho kuthi ke omunye ke ucwaninge usengabheka ke lokho afinyeleleke okuhlukile kunalokho ukuthi yebo kuyiqiniso kuya ngokuthi ke ulwazi lwakhe ke analo noma ke useqophelweni yini ukumayela nomsebenzi lowo.
On that aspect, like I told you, we've retained Mr. Dave Peterson. Do you know him?
If he's the one that he once worked at Ballistics, then I know him.
Uma Dave Peterson kulona ke wake wasebenza Ballistics ngiyamazi.
He's the same one. We've retained him to assist us regarding ballistics in this matter. He came to court and an order was made by the court that he must have access to the ballistic material and samples that you had, including exhibit TB1, TB2 that you did not have access to, and then him Colonel Gininda, Brigadier Gininda, the investigating officer in this case, and Colonel Mangena attended at the forensic hub, which is Mr. Peterson's business, for him to do what you did, go through microscopic work in his office, and then finish us with an opinion. And the opinion that he has arrived at, and it's based on your last answer to say, based on another examiner's knowledge, skill, scientific principles, he can arrive at a different conclusion. And indeed, he arrived at a different conclusion to say, this is an inconclusive finding, because what he found was the following. There were discernible class characteristics that he found. He does not quiver or argue with that. But he said the individual marks that he saw were insufficient for him to make it inconclusive. Therefore, we cannot say either or the firearm in question in this case fired the exhibit bullet in this case. Do you want to comment on that?
No comment on that one, my lord.
Akukho engakusho uma uthi ke yena ke uDave Peterson wathola ke ngokwahlukileke lokho sathola ke ngoba yena ke esithi ke kwakunganele nokuthi ke ama marks ke yena ke ababona ke aye nganele manje ke isibhamu lesikhulunywa ngaso akusona ke esadubula ke akukho engakusho la.
My lord, thank you. I'm indebted to the court. Yes, those are the questions that I had for you.
Yeah. Yes. Family, I watched this RAMOSEPELE. I just went back to watch this RAMOSEPELE and RAMOSEPELE destroying the last credibility this expert, meaning the ballistic expert that he has. There is no credibility, there is none, zero. The only thing these people are doing that is very, very, very painful to the accused and to the family of the Meiwa who wants closure. We see people who we should trust. We pay those people with our tax. We contribute to their salaries. And they come to the same court and lie to the core, trying to cover each other. What have we got ourselves into as South Africans? Having this kind of people who come and lie right in front of our nose, and we don't take no actions. Just to go to the judge and just tell the judge, we have had enough. Or go to the JC. Because I did put another video here that please let us try and share the video so that it can go viral. That even the Minister of Justice, the JSC, can see, the Minister of Correctional Service can see what exactly is happening in the prison as he is in charge. We have tried to expose these people on social media, but what I know about social media, it has never failed in any place. Social media can take you up there on heights, and social media can bring you from up there to zero. I will give example of one singer, rap singer, who was called Diddy in America. He was doing a lot of things behind the scene, but today he's behind bars. For all these things that he has been doing, now certain people are starting to turn against him. We have been celebrating these people as celebrities, but they have a lot of dirty linen that nobody sees. We only saw them when they were giving us this kind of music they were giving us, and we were dancing, not knowing behind the scene what was happening. Another is TDJ. He's been standing in the pulpit, preaching. I remember one time he went to one country called Swaziland, where he said he was going to raise people who were on wheelchairs and all this. Fake pastor. He did all this. But he was part of the Illuminati, doing all these kind of garbage things. There's always a saying in Zulu that akukho kufihlekile phasi komthunzi welanga okungayuvela. It's really painful when you see all these kind of things happening. You start to ask yourself, is it the kind of world we want to live in? And the judge let such things in front of him. He is a judge. He understands this guy is an expert ballistic. He comes and lies in front of the judge. He doesn't want to answer questions. What was the reason of him going to the scene of crime? He can't even explain. He can't even say anything about the bullet that he tested. He can't tell us what kind of a bullet was it. Was it a full jacket? Was it TB what? He doesn't tell us anything. Everything he can't remember. He can't remember. That is why RAMOSEPELE ended up destroying this person. Because the questions that RAMOSEPELE was asking there were legit questions that needed answers to show that this expert has no credibility. RAMOSEPELE displayed that in front of the judge. It is very painful in our country to see this kind of people who come and lie in court. They take it on oath. They know the consequences of lying in court. But because they are part of the cooking, nothing is going to happen to them. All this cooked evidence, all the branches have fallen apart. And to fix them is not easy. How much Baloyi is trying to fix, he is making it worse. Family, what do you think about what is going on in this court of Arata? Seeing all this kind of garbage, watching all this, an expert who cannot remember anything where he was part of. It's a disgrace. No diary, nothing. No notes, even when he was comparing the bullets to give his opinion. He can't even say what number of bullet he compared to which number. What a disgrace. Family, what do you think about this? Drop your comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue to expose this kind of shenanigans going on in the court of Rata. We will not stop until we win. Bravo, bravo, bravo.